Princeps, I hope you don't mind. We usually live stream these bad boys, and we're kicking it off. We generally start with intentions, distractions, and if there's any, with the intentions, focusing on, especially if there's anything you want to talk about today in this call. The focus of this call is generally just a sync. It doesn't have to last an hour. We just need to catch up on what we're doing and remove any blockers. So that's my intention, is just to support. Focus of this call is generally just a sync. Sorry about that. So to model it, my intentions for the call are just to facilitate a good call, take some notes in the channel, and probably give any updates that need to be updated. But if Marco and Andrew are here, then we should have all the expertise we need to give everyone a heads up on what's going on. And I am not distracted by anything. I will pass it to Marco.
Thanks, Griff. Intentions for today's call, I guess getting feedback on Figma prototype or the latest simulator design that I submitted last week. I noticed, Griff, you added some comments already. I would love to get more feedback, maybe from the group or anyone on the call, or share the Figma again and get people to comment on that. What else? Yeah, getting any more updates regarding the the development or the front end. I'm not sure we have Sam on the call. No, we don't.
Not yet.
Anyway,
he's trying to get in.
Yeah, and that's it. Distractions. Again, I have no doors in this room. The house is full. Everybody's walking around me. Maybe you hear some background noises and all that kind of stuff. So these are the distractions. Oh, there's Sam. And yeah, and that's it. And I pass it on to Andrew.
Hi, people. I have some nice updates to communicate about the simulation today. And I'd like to get to, just see what's going on elsewhere. And then I'll pass it to Sam. No distractions.
Hello. Sorry, I just arrived. The link wasn't working. I guess intentions for today. See the new mockups from Marco and try to understand them. And that's everything. Is everyone? Has everyone? That's it.
Right. Yeah, Princeps needs to go. Intentions, distractions, Princeps?
Yeah, my intentions for being here today.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, my intentions for being here today is not only to meet the team, the dev team, but also to learn about what you guys are working on, and also to just sort of understand, because I'm also I'm a developer in my day job, so I do Kotlin, Flutter, a little bit of Python. So it depends on where I can really fit in. But having a developer on the team, since it's a dev team, it's pretty good. So either way, I don't have any distractions. So I think I should be here for the whole duration, and just to kind of understand, not only the process you guys have, what you guys have going on, but also, I think if I have any questions, knowing who to go to, if it's Marco, if it's Sam, if it's Andrew, if it's Bloom, just kind of understanding, because I want to be part of this community, given that for so long I've been working on, my own project, and I felt alone, siloed off in the world. So, it definitely gave me hope to see a lot of people in this community really engaging and really building on the fundamentals that really go towards making a better future. So, I'm really glad to be here. Thanks to everybody for doing such a great, amazing job so far. And I'm just here to, at least right now, my intention is to learn and to see where I can fit in to be able to add value to it.
Nice.
Okay, your name is Princeps.
Yep, my name is Princeps.
Nice. And then Danny just joined too. Hey, Danny.
Intentions, distractions. My intentions are just to say hello and I love you. and I have to go. We're having a community currency potluck.
Yeah, that's at 6, right? Or sorry,
What's that?
that's in like 50 minutes, right? Or are you having?
Wait, what's in 50 minutes? No, I have a day-long event here in Costa Rica to talk about community currencies and gather needs and offers and information from a wonderful collection of people here. So it's a full day event, and I'm excited to do a bunch of networking and really excited that you all are continuing there and looking forward to when I can dive in and do some final tweaks on the narrative. I did review it. I love it. I love how it's coming together, and I'm just waiting to do that pass until you guys tell me to do so.
Okay, sounds good.
So yeah, I'm popping back out. Thanks, guys.
Bye, Danny. And yeah, after this call, there is a community currency potluck call. Totally just a random thing with grassroots economics. Should be fun though and interesting. So anyway, let's start with the general overview just for Princeps. I can do it really quickly. Basically, we're creating a futuristic story that's kind of like Quantum Leap. If you ever saw that TV show, where you are from the user, the player of the game is from a dystopian future, and they go back in time to save the planet, save the world.
I have to just go. I want to listen.
Yeah, sorry. By saving, by creating new economies that actually will support public goods, because the idea is the dystopian future. You know, no one took care of the planet, no one took care of shared resources. And so now they invented cadCAD, which will actually allow them to design economies that appreciate the value that shared resources provide. So that's the mission. And as far as who to talk to for help, there's Andrew who's leading the cadCAD effort, Marco's doing design, and Sem's the general lead developer. Designs are still, as far as roadmap is going, designs are still work in progress, but we're really close. And Andrew is deep in the cadCAD scene, and he'll give an update there. Any questions on that, Princeps?
No, not. I actually did read through some of the documents that you guys have already for the game. So I kind of spent some time this weekend just kind of looking through what resources you guys already have. So I went through and I read the game, and from my understanding, I think it's actually a really smart way to do about it. Ironically, one of the things that I wanted to do with my project was to write a story in that same format, where it's written from the perspective of the future, but it's a woman kind of going back to the past and learning how it was done to get to that, that present reality. So, there was kind of, I kind of smiled and laughed and giggled at myself. I was like, wow, that's ironic, because, we're kind of thinking in the same way there, where you are, you're coming back from, the dystopian future to the present to really understand how to change the future, which I think that's amazing. So yeah, so it makes sense. And I really like that aspect of it.
Cool. Okay, well, then let's just dive into the designs. Marco, do you want to give us some updates, or?
Yeah, sure. I would love to share my Figma first, and then walk you through the latest prototype. But just to ask Princeps, did you get a chance to see the designs yet, or?
No, I think I saw somewhat of a presentation online.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I saw the presentation that is already online. Kind of went through it till the very end, but I don't know if we're talking about the same designs then.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'm gonna then start like from the beginning, just for the sake to show the Princeps what we had like last week, and then what we have this week again. So I'm gonna start from the beginning, and hold on a second, let me just share my screen.
Thank you, Marco.
You should be seeing my screen, but let me just. Okay, you should be seeing a loading screen here.
Yep.
It says loading. Yeah. Okay. So and we're using the Figma tool to prototype this like quote game. Now it's not going to be exactly a game, because we obviously don't have enough resources to actually build a game. So we're trying to mimic that game style or feeling throughout the simulator. We're using Figma. It's static design tool. At least I can build a clickable prototype, but it's not like built-in code in front end. So what you are about to see is something that is replicating some of the interactions which will be coded in the front end, maybe some animations and all that kind of stuff, right? So basically, when you land on the when you open a simulator app and click enter or whatever, it's loading, and then you'll land on the first welcome screen of the quote game, which is called the Common Simulator. Maybe we're gonna change its name or not. I don't know. I kind of like it. So you're about to enter, and now we had that narrative that Griff mentioned earlier, and also Nanny. And my job was to actually take that narrative and try to guide the user through that story. There was a lot of trimming the narrative, cutting out some of the words, a lot of editorial changes, because obviously all that couldn't fit in. And what you're about to see is basically you going through that whole story and learning about how to design a commons, and eventually then initiating or creating that simulation, right? Just this is the introduction. You can watch the intro, which initially we wanted to create a video out of that, but we decided not to. We're just gonna use some images and some text. This is the entry into the story. This gives you a background about it. So basically, as a user, you should just sit back and watch this, watch these images and read the text and get the feeling what it is about. Like, this is setting the scene. All right.
Yep.
This part is already under construction, I think, by Sam. So Sam is about to start coding this part. I'm just gonna slide through these couple of.
Because I did see this. So
oh, you did? Okay, cool.
Yep. So I did go through this almost all the way to the end, where I think I actually finished it, where I was just kind of reading, understanding, the narratives, how you guys actually took the concepts of comments, of cadCAD actually, and imbued it into the story, as in, hey, so you got to pick like 6 people, and these 6 people, I think she goes to an event, and she has to pick 6 people from that event to be able to help her with her mission, and her mission is to be able to build a common. And so does that kind of sound familiar?
Yeah, sure. And a quick question to you, like while you were going through this intro, setting the scene and learning about it, like, was it clear to you? Did you have any questions? Was something unclear maybe? Or just give me the first time user feedback. That would be awesome.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true, because I think that's valuable to have a first time user also be part of the the dev team and be like, oh yeah. So I think I actually enjoyed it. I think part of it was that I was a bit confused at some points, where I was like, am I supposed to click enter or go forward? I did try to move the slider in some situations, because I thought the slider was supposed to move. But then I realized that it's just supposed to show me the information. I also had read Griff saying that it was still a work in progress. So I kind of understood that, okay, no need for me to be overly critical of it. I'm just supposed to get the essence of it. And I think that kind of transitioned me from, critically, trying to find the nitty gritty parts of it, and just kind of get the essence of what the game is supposed to be and what it's supposed to give to the end user. As in, hey, you're supposed to experience this game, take you through the experience of setting up a commons, and why it matters, whether, why not only the commons matters, but also why cadCAD matters, and being able to model the dynamics of a commons essentially, or a system. So I did, those parts, and I think you might talk about that a little bit. So yeah, I'll just kind of let you go.
Okay, cool. Well, the feedback is mostly related to the technical question of the, of the prototype itself, or the Figma prototype itself. So the confusion was coming from, from that part. I think when this would have been coded, then you would then, interact more freely with the app, right? And then you wouldn't have such questions, I guess. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
that's the big thing, Princeps, is that this is actually just mock-ups. They're just pictures.
Yeah.
Like the slider isn't a slider. It's just a picture of a slider.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
For now, for time
now.
being. Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, so we passed the intro. We set the scene. You're landing on a part where you had to read a little bit more about the where you landed, who you are. We're using these illustrations that we got so far. They fit pretty well here. What's your mission? What is commons? Now at this, we're entering a stage where we need to educate user about the terms and also allowing to actually enter some parameters and play around with that. So you're starting, it's design your commons, not create your commons, obviously. I noticed that comment. All right, next one. And now these are the new screens. Okay, this is the new part. Like this is what I've done last week, where the goal was to allow user to enter those parameters step by step, but also along the line, teach user or what those terms are, like what is the hatcher, what is the funding pool, what is the commons pool, and why this, what they're actually doing when they're entering the parameter, right? So for that reason, when you enter a new level, I call it a level, you actually get a pop-up or something, which serves as a helper or an intro of what you have to do on this level, right? In this one, it's the founding members, so you need to decide how many founding members your commons will have, and that's the reason why this one pops out. And also I included a small help link over here where you click on this one and you can always access the information regarding what you actually have to do here. So this is the slider. This is an image of the slider. The idea is here, while you move the slider, the transparent, icons of silhouettes, man silhouettes, should then multiply or like be added or removed. So the lowest number is 3 founders and the highest is 300. At least that's how it was defined. And so when you're done with this one, let's say you defined how many founding members you have.
Wait a sec, please.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit better? How are you envisioning that? What should appear? I mean, right now there are 30 people.
I would like to go into technical stuff or the details of explanation maybe later a little bit, or we can do that together. And I can also leave comments in the Figma, but for now I just want to show what we have. And then when it comes to the actually technical implementation, we can discuss it. These are, by the way, Sam, these are all mock-ups. So, we're gonna find our way around how we're gonna do this. It doesn't have to be one by one. We can, use whatever and see, closest to be looking like this and functioning like this, okay?
Okay.
But the idea is like, while you move the slider, so do people multiply or like they were added or removed, right? So to give that impression, right? That's like the general idea, okay? Okay, so members, next one. So I agree, as you will mention, you will notice here that I actually divided these into some of the sections and I call them levels. Instead of like having everything on one screen, is actually like guiding user through the whole story, because there is a narrative, there is a story. So for that reason, I made it that way. All right, great, cool. You define your founding members. The next one is to define the how many proposals. Now, for the first-time user, what is a proposal? What's that? Obviously, you get help. So there's an explanation. What are the proposals? So once you learn about it, okay, cool. Now let's say I'm gonna do 6. I'm gonna have 6 proposals. Next one, about funding pools. What are these? What is a token? And then again, we have a parameter input here. What percent of contribution will be allocated to the funding pool. Now, this is like a mock-up or representation of the pools. On the one side, you have the commons reserve. On the left side, you have the funding pool. The idea is here, again, you have a slider, and while you move the slider, So these pools like change the levels, right? This was basically the idea how it should be. How are we gonna go about it, Sam? We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna see what we're gonna use here, but if we can make it this way, perfect. If not, let's use something else to mimic this.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And it's easy to fill up the tanks.
Yeah, so you're like filling, or like, when you're 50-50, they're even. Like when you move slider left or right, it just goes up and right and so on.
And did you have an explainer for this too?
Yes, I had. Like, here's your help. Like, this is the funding pools. What are the funding pools? What is the hatch attribute? What is the token? It's basically what we had in the narrative. I just pulled it out and put it here.
I was taking notes and I just missed it.
Yeah, we have it. Like every screen has this, these explanations. So, by the time the user is on this screen, they will know there's help. And by the way, this help is also, it's marked up here, just a link of help. It could be placed somewhere else, more intuitive, or, more visible, or something like that. We're going to see it,
okay,
how it's going to be later on. Okay, next one is the fund. Okay, well done, cool. You define the allocation. Next one is the funding. Sam, don't get scared about this chart or graph or whatever.
Sorry, guys, I might have to interject, but I might have to leave soon.
No worries, Andrew.
Okay. Oh, thanks for telling us, Andrew. Do you want a time-dependent interrupt on the? I'm sorry to do this to you, Marco, but do you want a time-dependent interrupt and give us some updates on the cadCAD, Andrew, before we go? Before you have to go?
Okay, I guess I'll just say that the first and second policies have been coded up, and this took some working on the data layer, so the data layer has been remassaged a bit, and now we have a unit test for the data layer, and the part of the first policy, but not yet the second policy. And you can see all this in the latest comments. Yes, that's all.
The latest comments is it in that issue number 10 with the roadmap, or
where comments in the GitHub, in the repo?
Just comments, just like merge. Oh, commits.
Yeah, commits.
I heard comments. Okay.
No. Actual code.
Wait, or is it commons? I don't know.
Commits.
Commits. Okay. Okay, great. Cool.
All right, go on, Marco. Sorry, you can go ahead,
yeah.
Marco.
I was muted. Yeah. Thanks. I was muted. I was just looking for the mute button to unmute myself. All right. So this one, how much of the community funds can be distributed at any given time? This one needs a little bit more learning what it actually means. So this is the funding distribution, what this graph actually does, and what it represents. So while you actually move the slider, what it actually means. The idea is here to show like how much of the funding pool, like how much allocation from the funding pool is required. So while you move the slider, it should actually, like, this is the 100% allocation of your funds, and like this is the threshold. So we have this threshold, and while you move the slider, this graph should somehow change depending on the percentage where you are. What type of chart we're gonna use here? It's up for discussion, Sam. Again, doesn't have to be like this, or we're gonna talk through this one. This one might be a little bit more tricky to do, so we're gonna figure this out.
Okay, I understand that this is the beta selector, which is the maximum threshold that you can ask for. So, for example, if we have 1,000K, let's imagine, in a commons, and we want to change a lot of things with that, we can only request 30% of those funds, 30K, in just one proposal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that that threshold could be moving away. I mean, if you decrease that, you move the threshold. The mobile part here should be the threshold. And
Sure. Yeah, anyway, look at this one later on, add some comments in the Figma directly. We can definitely iterate on this one. And if there is a better way how we can present this, or how we can make this interactive to actually, bring over the message, what happens, please feel free to comment. This was just my idea of my understanding, how to, show this visually. But if you have a better way,
okay,
visually, yeah.
I can give some more context to that graph and later in the same call, and see if we can imagine something that has more is more easy to understand and also more real.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sure. All right. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Okay. Cool. You did good. Next one is are the decisions. Now you're actually choosing how much time should pass before an individual voting power reaches 80%. Again, you have help here. So it's about conviction voting. Conviction voting needs to be like, what is that? This is the explanation of what the conviction voting is, so the user knows. Just a moment. All right, cool. Basically, if you click on each of one of these, there should be a graph line here doing something similar to the ones that we already had. I know. I think Sam, you know what I mean. Which one I'm referring to?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically,
it is going to grow super fast,
or
if it's 30 days, or
yeah,
just it's slower.
Exactly. So I did not put it here because we're going to use whatever. So it will probably be a green line or something like that, glowing, whatever wherever you're going to do this here, but it actually should appear somehow as soon as you change something. I did add here predefined numbers just for the sake of, playing around with it pretty quickly. So user can just, switch between those, like 6 months, 1 year, or whatever, or add a custom value in days or maybe years here in the dropdown. It's up for discussion whether we're gonna do this, implement this or not. But I think it's pretty handy to have it here.
I think that 1 year is too much. Maybe we can go for smaller units of time, but I don't know. I am not who invented the conviction voting.
Yeah.
So I think Griff knows more about.
It's sort of interesting. It's kind of like how you tune it. The longer that time frame is, the less plutocratic the conviction voting is. It's sort of interesting in that way.
Yeah. Anyway, leave your comments in Figma, and we're gonna discuss it there or on this call, on the next call, or whatever you might have. Just put it there.
I like how it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
Almost there. I think this is the last one, and this is the last one that I did. It's just a representation of what percentage of goes to the funding at exit. Now this is the exit thing here. What is the exit tribute? Explanation of that. Obviously, some percent goes to. Okay, I'm not going to explain what this does, but the illustration should show, like, when you move the slider, like how much goes to your wallet and how much goes percentage of the funds go to the funding pool. If there's a better way how we can show this visually, I'm open for the suggestions to hear that. This is like the first idea that I had. So if anyone has a better idea, please comment and suggest.
Why don't we put 100% too there? I mean,
so I'm not sure, like, what should be the highest percentage here, because I'm not sure if that's even possible. Griff, you can
I mean, technically it's possible, right? It'd be like, instead of, it's like you hold the tokens and then it wouldn't really make sense to ever exit if it's 100% though, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you just give it voting power and then
you give everything to the funding pool, right? So it's like
so
yeah.
On the other side, if we put there 0, the commons are going to, the only way to receive funding is from the exit tribute.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like 1% to 1% to 50% makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay. 1 to 50. That was even the 0 wasn't didn't work for me. I mean, it shouldn't be 0. Like it can't be 0.
Yeah, 0
you have to give back something to the funding.
Yeah, maybe 0.5% could even be a thing. You know, then you have arbitrage bots that are like going wild. You know, but no, I don't think 0. But it's okay. This is why we have a Figma and comments, right?
Yeah, exactly. Let's start with let's do the 1 to 50 for now, and then we'll see how we go about it later.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. And now this is the summary screen, which is really work in progress as everything else. I'm just showing some numbers here. Basically, the summary of all your parameters that you added here. This probably will be a sort of a table or something like that. It won't look like this, but it just gives you an overview. So that the user knows, okay, like this is my commons. So it has 16 founding members.
Uh-oh, we lost you.
Yeah, I don't know if it was me or not.
No, it's Marco. He got frozen in time.
Waiting for a high five.
Let's see if we can recover him.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
Sorry. Sorry. For some reason it just dropped. Sharing again. So summary screen gives you an overview of your comments. The idea is here for the user to allow him to go back and change some parameters. And also then basically they will land on this page, run the simulation, they click run, and the next one is generating your comments. It should be some sort of a loader, waiting for stuff to do in the background, and once it's done, we present something, and that something will be, I guess, again, a chart or something like that, right?
Yeah, we're talking about 2 or 3 charts, 2 or 3 graphs.
We can also have something similar to the previous screen, in which we have something like that, seeing the new members or the number of new members, and then we can click on them and see more details. I mean, we can have something that is not everything in the same page, but something that can be clicked and see an overview of everything, something like very similar to that, I think. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I almost feel like in this one, it might be good to have it on the same screen. I'll make a comment in Figma, but like when you click on the simulation, maybe there's a waiting screen, but then it goes back to this screen with the points at the top, because you're going to want the summary again, and then the graphs, because once you see the graphs, then you can actually understand whether or not your comments failed, and if or succeeded. And then you're like, oh man, that looks like shit. These comments suck. I better go back and change the number of hatchers. Maybe that'll fix it. And because that is one of the key gamification aspects is like that last button that's like, are you sure this commons is good enough? Look at these graphs, because the future of humanity depends on you making sure that these graphs look good, and then you click the button and it's like, oh no, dystopian future is still there, you suck, like game over, or not game over, but like, oops, the graphs weren't good enough, you failed. Here's a high score list. Maybe you want to use someone else's high score, or you could go back and try again on your own. and then, or, oh my God, you won, you succeeded, the world has been saved. Look at this solar punk future. Congratulations, input your name for the high score.
The Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. Try again.
I'm just mocking up quickly here, but
yeah,
you feel free to comment as well somewhere.
No, that looks good.
I'm just mocking up so I don't forget it.
Yeah, no, that's great. And Sam, so like Sam and Andrew were talking about this. I think it was Andrew, right? Where we were talking about sentiment and adding that as one of the graphs. I didn't like it at first, but it's like still bugging on me, and I think it would be really, really cool to include. What do you think, Sam?
Mm-hmm. I still have to see what is easy to extract from cadCAD. I think that maybe it's something that we can hack on and show some ugly things first. Like try to beta test it first, previous than designing it, because we didn't work with that so much. I think that it is going to pop up at some point.
There is for sure in the cadCAD models there is a global variable of sentiment that's tracked
of sentiment, and we can extract that.
Yeah, it's definitely extractable. It's already in there, and basically these three graphs would be price of the token over time, the funding pool balance over time, and then if we want to include the third one, it would be sentiment of the community, of how they feel about the commons over time.
Also, in that last screen, there is 5 parameters, but we have 6, and I think that beta is missing. The maximum amount of funds that we can get in just one proposal is missing there.
Marco. No, beta was there. I think in just in the mock-ups, it said 4 and then it said 5, and then when you got to 6, it showed the 6th one. So there were 6.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because
I added that later on, and so I just added them. Like you were seeing the Figma file. I'm gonna share the Figma again here in the chat and then also on Telegram.
Okay. Okay, and do we have time to discuss the participant selector and the beta graph?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know, Griff. You know.
I don't think.
We got like 15 minutes, so.
Andrew cut his explanation very short. So I think we have 10 more minutes.
Yeah, cool. Princeps, do you have any questions so far, or?
No, that makes sense. I'm just kind of learning, so I don't have any direct questions about how everything is connecting together, because it seems like the conversation between you guys answers majority of the questions that I have. So I kind of tend to just listen and see if anything has been missed. I think that the sentiment analysis and all the other things you guys are kind of adding onto it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I don't think I have any other any pressing question. If I did, I'd unmute and be like, hey guys, have you guys considered this?
Cool. But, cool. All right. Thanks. Sam, which one do you want to talk first? This one?
Yeah. How do we do that? Because right now, as it is, it looks very good, very good. And I don't know if we begin to erase some of them, this is going to kind of unbalance.
So let me just try to do something here. Hold on a second. So basically you start with 1, or not 1, with 3, because 3 is the smallest number. So hold on a second. you should be starting with 3. And so if when you start moving the slider and the numbers go up, so do these people appear in the background. That's the idea. So
I am familiar with the idea, but I am not seeing how it is going to be visually good, because who is going to appear? I mean, we cannot add 30 silhouettes in the, or even 300 silhouettes.
It doesn't have to be 300. It can just be a representation of that. It just shows that it multiplies, right? It doesn't have to be the exact number. We can even start with, you know, having the 1 here and maybe 2 people behind, and then maybe I can design you, you know, these transitions like, you know, 10, 30, 50, 60, 90, 100. And like these will be some sort of like images. And then when you move the slider, you just exchange those images. You know,
we can play. I think that we can have like 3 images, which one is like the first one is 3, and then people at the background that appears,
and you multiply them
with the transparency, and when they are 100% transparent, like with opacity of 100%, then we begin with the rest of the people at the back.
Got it.
We can have lots of people there. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. But yeah, like play also with the transparency of images.
Got it. Something like this.
And I guess I will need to have the final state, probably the initial state, and some in the middle.
Okay. All right.
And then I play with the transparency.
Okay. Provide Sam initial state, 3 people, mid state, and final state.
You are helping me a lot to see that, because I don't have much skills on design, and it's like, wow, yeah, it is. It seems like it is so easy for you.
I know, isn't that amazing?
That's
I
amazing.
love designs while we're in the call.
All right, cool. So this one, Sam, we're clear on this one. We're ready to move to the next.
Yes.
All right, cool.
I might argue that maybe we give them like, if you can give them like 5 to 8 states instead of just 3.
Come on, it's too much.
I mean, because like how we transition from transparent to, I feel like there might be more thought that could be beneficial there.
Yeah.
Look, Sam. When you get to this page and when you code this one, just ping me. We're gonna sync on this one. Let me know what's the best way you want to go about it. Whether you're gonna use just one silhouette SVG and then multiply it, or are you gonna use one image and then multiply it when users moves the slider, or whatever it's easier for you to do, or does not require that much effort, and I'm going to prepare then those assets or whatever, right?
Okay.
But
I still don't.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I still don't know. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just thinking like maybe the easiest way would be to do the SVG, and when you move the slider, you just have some sort of a JavaScript on the background that does that. I don't know. Maybe there is something.
The easiest way for me is when to put some SVGs there. I don't know if SVG is the best for alpha, or it is even better to have PNGs.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes that or not, but we will see if it's PNG or SVG, and have all the images there. And then when moving the slider, the JavaScript makes appear them like very, very slowly.
Got it. Okay, no worries.
So like layers.
But yeah. And then we just
That go appearing.
And I can just prepare you those assets, and then you take them and see, like, how are you gonna play around with the opacity. So yeah, that's for that. This one is the next, or the chart.
I like that. Yes, I think that the only thing is that we could be more. They are different tokens. One are funding tokens, and the other are external.
No, actually, they're the same. They're the same token.
They're the same tokens. It's just I changed the color here just to show that this is like the commons reserve, and this is like the funding pool. So that's
they are the same token.
But they're the same.
Yeah, this is the reserve token. The reserve tokens in the funding pool. They're like DAI. DAI will be in the funding pool. DAI will be in the reserve pool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So wait. Go back to that one. So one thing that is interesting here is would be what I would like to see is something that communicates, like, when you add something more to the funding pool, then like there's more money to do good work, and then so like there's more proposals you can pass effectively. And I don't know if this can be communicated here, but then with the commons with the reserve, when you add more to the reserve, then the economy is stronger. And so like having this like be somehow part of the decision. And I don't know how that's really difficult, but I want to at least make the comment that it's like, if you move it to the common, if you move it to the reserve, the economy is strong, right? If you move it to the funding pool, then you can make a lot of proposals pass. And that's the decision you have to choose, is this like, where do we put our initial funds? How much goes towards passing proposals, and how much goes towards creating a strong economy?
All right. Maybe we could do a tooltip here. The economy is strong. Okay. Hold on a second. Maybe we can just add tooltips here. So when you actually when you move the slider and it goes above some defined level, whether it's, I don't know how many percent, and then it just shows like, hey, the economy is strong. And when it goes down and this goes up, we add some other slider here, tooltip here. What should
the community has a lot of funds.
Community has a lot
of
thriving. Stuff like that.
Obviously, it will be better words, but we just need something.
Yeah. All right. Maybe we can play around with this one, like that. Yeah. And just then, in this case, define what is the percentage. When you hit that, then this tooltip shows.
Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we could do exactly the opposite. If we are not giving funds to the community, we could make the warning tooltip appear. Community is not going to have funds.
Yeah. We just don't want. We want to be careful not to guide them to 50-50 or whatever we tell them. Like that's the one thing that's like, I don't want to give them too many hints, right?
Yeah.
Like if we get them to basically to the point where there's no warnings, then it's like, okay, everyone's going to do that. They're all going to pick that one where there's no warnings. Oh, it's not too strong. It's not too weak.
Yeah, but for the 50-50, we could also tell them something.
Oh yeah.
Tell user something for the 50-50 case.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, like, yeah. what will be interesting is when we actually tune it and we figure out what some of the good answers are, you know, like
Yeah.
we'll find out, but we got to be careful not to give them too many hints. We want them to understand what they're choosing when they choose it, but we don't want to make them think that there is a right answer, because really all of these variables are going to work together, and the right answer is going to be dependent on how many hatchers, what their exit pool is, exit tribute is, and all these things. So there isn't a right answer, you know.
Got it. All right, cool. We got 3 more minutes. I'm not sure if we're gonna make it.
Oh yeah.
Through the next one, so maybe we can leave this one for, I don't know, Sam commenting the Figma directly, and then me getting back to you async, and then or we can, you know, sync up one-on-one.
That's going to be difficult to discuss to Figma, I think. Maybe we can discuss it the next time.
Yeah, let's start with let's do it async. Like you start first with commenting Figma on whatever you might have. I will reply. And okay. We can catch up on Telegram or whatever. So we just don't wait till the next call to discuss it.
Okay.
Cool.
That's cool.
Okay. That looks
so
super cool.
I think what I've kind of learned from this, it's more of an experiment, a tool to experiment with the concepts of the cadCAD, right? So by being able to present the information to the user, you're educating about the terminologies, but also you are allowing them to be able to play around with it. Essentially, that's why taking the position of it being a game is important. I think the way I've come to understand it is it's an experiment. You're experimenting to find which way, because I think by phrasing it as in it is an experiment, it drives people to want to experiment more, to try more things, to try again, to be like. So I think this is probably something for Danny, more or less, because she kind of works on the narrative, but the narrative aspect of it being like, so you kind of have a lab and you're experimenting to find the dynamics in which lead to the best common dynamics, the best common structures, right? So either too much funding pool or too little funding pool equals to, either a better economy or a stronger community. And I think, at least from what I've kind of gathered so far, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, that by me perceiving it as an experiment, I'm allowing myself to fail and to try again, instead of me being like, okay, should there be a high score? Or I don't know. I thought that was a good point that I kind of wanted to at least, bring it up so that we can discuss about it and see where it evolves to.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And especially when we promote it and how we tell people like, hey, do you want to experiment with creating your own, benefit like commons economy, I think it's a good framing. But anyway, this is our call. We got 60 seconds before a really cool potluck call. I don't actually have the link, but I'll share it in the CSD dev team. But Marco, incredible designs. They look fantastic. Hopefully, Princeps, if you guys can set aside 30 minutes to an hour or something just to like blast through some comments on this Figma, I know Marco will take your sage words of advice and turn it into magically beautiful, pretty pictures for us to play with.
That's awesome, Marco.
That looks amazing, actually. That's really great work. When I first kind of thought about writing a book, because initially I did think about, doing a website where it's kind of like a gamified, essentially what you guys are doing, which is really, really amazing. So I wanted to tell you guys that you guys are doing an amazing job. I thought that, I went with the route of a book, not only because I didn't have the expertise to build the game and also the resources to build one, but also just seeing that perspective being taken in and actually being put life into, it's just amazing. And you guys are doing a great job, and I just want you guys to know that.
Thanks, Prince.
Thanks, mate.
Well, okay, see you guys.
Hey,
bye everyone. Cheers. Bye.